CVAP started in 2016 and it was a 5-year project. So ideally it was supposed to have ended in June 2022, but it has since received a 1-year no-cost extension, so it will come to a closure in June 2023. The funding for this project is a loan from African Development Bank at 56%, a grant from Global Agriculture and Food Security Program, GAFSP, at 34%, and the GOK, the Government of Kenya component, at 10%. CVAP operates in 11 counties out of the 47 counties of this country, and these counties are Tana River, Makueni, Machakos, Kitui, Meru, Tharaka Nithi, Nyeri, Nyandarua, Kajiado, Murang'a, and Bomet. CVAP has or constitutes of 4 components. The first component is enhanced irrigation and water resources development. Then we have improved access to market and strengthening of value chain. The third one is institutional strengthening and capacity development. Last but not least is project coordination and management. So far, we've made a lot of strides so far as these components are concerned, and it is very clear in our mind, and we are confident that come June 2023, we should have delivered all the aspects of this component as it is enshrined in the project appraisal document, the PAD.
In this project, we have 2 categories of counties. We have the rain-fed counties, where we are using the catchment approach to help farmers do small-scale irrigation through micro-irrigation techniques. Whereas the irrigation projects is where we have a more substantial amount of water in the identified rivers that can support irrigation sustainably. Now, Makueni County is one of the counties that has both rain-fed and irrigation areas where we are supporting activities through the funds, a loan from African Development Bank, and a grant component from GAFSP. Now, in this county, we have 2 irrigation schemes, which is Chemwe Irrigation Scheme and Utangwa Irrigation Scheme. This scheme covers 44 hectares and has 565 members, of which 88 are women, 404 are men, adults, and we have 73 youth who are mainly male, who run their farming activities in this scheme.
Tulianza mradi ya Ihua back 2010 wakati tulifanyiwa survey maneno ya maji. Baadaye tulimobilize watu 2 weeks tukisaidiwa na national government, na tukachaguliwa committee, tukachaguliwa chair, vice chair, secretary and central committee ya watu 17. Tuko na 10 clusters. Tuko na Chaumbwa, Idanze, Kinyongo, Kimuni, Chandunu, Wakasa, Lower Utangwa na Kitie. Each cluster iko na committee ya 7 members.
For sustainability purposes, Utangwa Irrigation Scheme, there's a committee that is Utangwa Irrigation Water Users Association is in place with the executive committee Apart from the executive committee, we have 4 subcommittees. One is the first one is product marketing committee, which tries to assist the farmers to get market for their produce. The second one is deals with the environmental issues, which basically ensures that all environmental aspects are adhered to. The third one is on operation and maintenance, which is basically to ensure that the water is supplied at the required time to all the farmers within the scheme. And the fourth one is on the conflict resolution, which deals with the farmers, specifically to ensure that all conflicts are resolved timely, so that all the operations can be undertaken without any hitches.
In supporting these farmers, the scheme was obtained through a survey and design that helped identify the feasibility of the scheme, the availability of water to be able to sustainably support farmers produce food for their own consumption and for income. And in that aspect, after the design was done and it was found to be feasible, and the feasibility was based on the source of water as springs, natural springs in the scheme. For that matter, the scheme is subdivided into clusters, and each cluster has its own intake to support a certain number of farmers. The number of farmers supported varies depending on the amount of water available from each of those springs.
Besides the irrigation infrastructure that is in place, we have other supporting structures. We have a market grading shed, which is now at 95% complete. The scope for this was a chemical store, an office, the grading shed,
SIVAP tunataka kushukuru sana national government, imetusaidia sana na kitchen kits. Almost 450 farmers tunapanda sana mboga zetu kwa kitchen garden.
To enable the farmers be able to run their affairs sustainably, community mobilization was carried out to ensure that the farmers understood what the project is all about, what their roles are, and what is the role of the government, so that everybody plays their role to ensure that the contractual works are done in the shortest time possible, and then the farmers can take over and run their activities in the scheme with minimum supervision in a sustainable manner. For that matter, mobilization was done for about 2 weeks, and farmers in each cluster were given an opportunity to elect their officials. After these officials were elected, again they were organized into committees and subcommittees. So we have the UWA with all the registered members as an overall body and the final decision-making organ, and then we have the executive committee of the Central Management Committee. The Central Management Committee is the umbrella body that manages the scheme. And in order for this management committee to effectively run its affairs, they have an executive committee that is the top organ, and then there are 4 subcommittees: the Operation and Maintenance Subcommittee, Operation and Marketing Subcommittee, the Conflict Management Subcommittee, and the Environmental Management Subcommittee, ensuring that all aspects of running the scheme are well covered. And these subcommittees members were then trained on their roles, after which they also developed an action plan, and this action plan is helping them in the short term and in the long run. And these committees and leaders were also sensitized on how to develop their constitution and how to get legal recognition by ascribing to the NEMA requirements, ascribing to the water resource authority requirements, so that they were able to pay the requisite fees and get certification. Through those certifications, and together with the constitution that they have developed, they were able to get registration at the Attorney General's office. In that case, they are now a legally recognized entity that can run its affairs without any hitches.
IUA was registered back 2021. Tuliregister kwa Hatton General. Kwa hivyo tuko na certificate from ya IUA Irrigation Scheme.
Mimi ni mkulima kutoka Mboni, sehemu ya Utangwa, cluster cha generator. Nalima mboga tofauti ka nyanya. Saizi nimelima cabbages, naendelea na kuvuna, nimeanza kuvuna naendelea. Ndo tulikuwa tunatumia generator. Saizi tunaweza kutumia hiyo maji through piping. Imewekwa piping. Tulikuwa tunatumia generator, tunanunua mafuta, saizi hatununui mafuta.
Season yenye imepita nilikuwa nimepanda nyanya ya Ranger F1 ambayo nilipata mazao mingi sana. Kila wiki nilikuwa nauza twice per week, kilo nikiuza 50. Finally nilipata 258,000 kumalizia kuuza. Sifa pia iliniletea cabbage inaitwa Angela F1 ambayo nimepeleka shule. Nikalipa school 2020, 2023 mpaka 2024. Kilo nilikuwa nauza 50 per kg. Cabbage ambayo ilikuwa size dogo ilikuwa inatoka kilo 2.5 na yenye ilitoka kilo mingi ilitoka kilo 7 na ingine 8 kgs. Nimetumia minimum tillage kuchimbua hizi mashimo bila kulima ili to reduce cost of production kwa kama mkulima.
Kabla tujengewe hii intake tulikuwa wakulima 6 na tangu tujengewe wakulima wameongezeka. Saa hii tuko wakulima 36.
Hapa nilikuwa nimepanda kitunguu. Kitunguu nilikuwa nanyunyuzia maji kutumia pump na ilikuwa costly sana juu ya mafuta. Saa hii wakati SIFAP ilikuja tunatumia hii mradi wetu wa SIFAP. Hii shamba nimepanda spinach na imenipea faida sana. Juu saa hii wakati tunaposema faida tumepata kama 25%.
Nilikuwa nauza cabbage moja 40 shillings na hizo pesa nilichukua kiasi moja nikanunua ng'ombe wawili.
Kwa ile kitu inafanya nijue faida yangu ama loss yangu ni kukeep farm recording.
Nimeshukuru kwa mradi wa SIFAP kwa kutuletea maji na tena nashukuru sana.
Nashukuru huyu mradi wa SIFAP kwa kutuletea huyu mradi.